Friday, October 24th, 2025. And we have a couple days of the View to talk about. Today, they talked about this new book coming out. Um, the co writer from Virginia, is it Giuffre? I can never say her name properly, who was one of Epstein's sexual abuse victims and quite credibly accused Prince Andrew of sexual abuse to the point where he reached an out of pocket, undisclosed settlement with her. Um, so it's a little confusing that wouldn't also come with some sort of a gag order and how she's able to write a book and detail all of that. Um, but and in advance of the book coming out, he gave up all of his royal titles and duties, and he's still Prince Andrew, but he's no longer a duke, and he won't be coming to the royal events anymore. He's being shunned, which basically just says they know he's guilty. And so what I'm confused about here is that she's already had a settlement with him, but yet she's written this book with a co-author who, and in it, she details all sorts of things, naming Andrew and Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And then she goes on to use descriptions of other men, a former senator, a gubernatorial candidate. But it's like, why not just name them? Um, I mean, she's dead. Virginia's dead. They can't do any more harm to her because I don't fully believe that she killed herself. Just like I don't think Ivana fell down the stairs and broke her neck, and I don't think that Epstein hung himself, like or JFK or RFK Jr.'s first wife killed herself. I feel like there's an awful lot of um, you know people who found out some things that suddenly got disappeared. Um, but I just don't like just name the fucking names. Um, but they did point out several times that she didn't ever see Trump. But by the time she was involved, Trump and Epstein had their falling out. I think in that it was in that timeline. But it's like I get it why the other women are like I see what happens when you speak up, and they might be afraid to name names, but like she's already dead. Just fucking name them. And I think it was Anna who said that too. It was like, okay, so there is a list, and people know who's on the list, but no one's. I don't know. That whole thing just so irritates me. That because I feel like, why are you protecting your abusers by not naming them? I don't understand. I don't understand that. I understand the fear, but in this particular case, they can't do any more damage to her. Anyway, that one's a weird one. Um, and you know, I don't know. The MAGA loyalists, I think, are just going to stick with him anyway, even if Trump is on the list. I think even if there was video evidence, they'd claim it was AI. I think that people that are so deep in his cult are willing to forgive anything because he he lets them be as awful as they want to be. So I think they in turn let him be as awful as he wants to be. Symbiotic relationship they have going. And um, uh, the entire East Wing is gone. This is what I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do understand. He did it in a hurry. He didn't even have any permits. Um, and nothing was saved. Nothing. Like, when they tear down a baseball stadium, they sell all the old seats. You know, like there's an opportunity A to make money, which Trump loves to do. B, just historical preservation, like the windows, the woodwork, the floor, like anything. You saved nothing. Just like when he tore down the old Bonwit Teller, and he was supposed to give the friezes in the front of the building to the Met, and he didn't because it was too inconvenient. He just has zero respect for anything. And I don't know if they talked about this yesterday or not. I don't remember. But the bunker, like the atomic nuclear bunker, is underneath that space. Like that's where they're supposed to go when there's no place else left to go. So why is he building on top of that? Like I just and in secrecy, like why this whole thing makes zero sense. I have something there that I don't know what it is. Anyway, uh, what a fucker. And then the ladies, and this really, really stuck in my craw. The ladies started to talk about Graham Plantner in Maine. Now, the only reason that his old Reddit posts are being dug up and all this sort of dirt is being thrown at him is because the Democratic Party, the old establishment corporate Democrats, decided, well, this young upstart, he's not even that young, this guy who's not taking any corporate money and is speaking truth to power and doesn't want to fall in line with with our, our corporate money grab. You're not taking PAC money, and he's speaking plainly to Mainers and doing really well in the polls. They decided that the current governor of Maine should run in the primary to try to unseat um, Susan Collins in the general election. The governor is very popular. I think her name is Janet Mills, but she's 77 years old. They need to, not that there's anything wrong with being 77 years old, but at some point you got to retire. It's just the whole thing is so disheartening. And the so they there's all this shit that comes up, and apparently he got a skull and a crossbone tattoo on his chest when he was a Marine and it was off duty in Croatia and out drinking with his buddies. It turns out this um, skull and crossbones was I don't know if it's exactly the one or it's just similar to or emblematic of one that the Nazi police used as a symbol. He says he didn't know anything about that. He only found out recently, and he has subsequently covered up the tattoo, and he has quite sincerely apologized for some really fucked up things that he said when he was in the military and coming out of the military, and had a little PTSD and a little too much booze, and it was in a dark place, and that was 20 fucking years ago. And these fucking bitches are like, well, he's disqualified. Nope, that's too much. No, no, no. This is the kind of, purity testing that why we end up with such shitty candidates. And Whoopi being like, you can't put that stuff online. It's going to come back to you. You know what, honey? We'll never have a candidate under 70. Everybody's shit is online. Every young person who's going to come up into politics is going to have shit online that's embarrassing or stupid. Like, it's just inevitable when people are online from the time of they're 9 years old, or worse, people whose the parents put their kids online. I hate that. You don't know. Just don't. Um, Especially if you're famous. You chose to be in the spotlight. Don't put your kid on Instagram just because you have a million followers. Ugh. Anyway, so fuck you to all five of those ladies, or however many were at that table. Um, what no one's allowed a second chance ever. It's not the same as those shitheads Republicans who were in a Nazi and bigoted text chain that went on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And not only were they not sorry for it, they were proud of it. That's not the same thing. So I don't like all your judgmentalness, ladies of the View, because some people need to be forgiven, especially if they're genuinely apologetic. Remember how you kicked out Al Franken so quick? And now you're all like, oh, I wish we had Al Franken back. You've got to stop doing this. Um, anyway, early voting starts tomorrow in New York, and I can hardly wait until election night when Zoran Mamdani provides a crushing defeat to sex pest Andrew Cuomo. Um, and I know that this is an election that scares the shit out of the establishment Democrats because it shows in the biggest city in the country and arguably the financial capital of the world, someone without corporate sponsorship is going to be leading. They don't that they don't want to piss off their corporate sponsors, and I think we should be pissing off all of their corporate sponsors, um, including the sponsors of this stupid fucking ballroom. Although, you know, here I'm going to put this on YouTube. Who the fuck owns YouTube? Google. I'm sure they contributed. So, hypocrite. Whatever. It's Friday, and I am looking forward to a nice, crisp, autumnal weekend.